Hello, all. This is Coach Ketz coming at you with another Wednesday Wisdom. This one is a different format, obviously. It's going to be a little bit challenging for those of you that are used to a 90-minute or a 90-second clip. This isn't going to be 90 minutes, but it is definitely going to be a lot longer because it's important information, and I definitely can't get it all in 90 seconds, and I don't want to chunk it out in videos that will extend, into September. So I'm going to cover some social media do's and don'ts for a lot of the people that I'm engaged with, athletes looking to, transition from high school into college and hopefully use their athletics to get them a college scholarship. It's really important that your social media is up to snuff. And so hopefully this presentation will help you um, do the right things so you don't, get yourself in a position where what you're putting out there in social media is going to be a hindrance or prevent you from getting that scholarship that you probably deserve. All right, so quick agenda, background, who, why. We'll look at the what's. I like to lead with the don'ts because really it's kind of more important in this situation. And then we'll look at some win, like the consistency and balance of the social media content. This is a great clip from Coach Reed. If you don't follow him, you absolutely should. He's definitely a thought leader in this area. And I think that what he's going to talk about here is really kind of quintessential to what I'm driving at here with this presentation.
Just remember, guys, if you're trying to get recruited, recruiting is going on every single day, 24/7, 365, and they evaluate everything: your grades, your attitudes, your behavior, your attendance, your discipline, your film, how you're doing in other sports that you play in the other seasons. It never stops. There's a non-stop chasing of information, something that you do in March when football season isn't going on could affect whether or not you get a scholarship. Football is big business. People are putting millions of dollars into recruiting and scouting departments, paying for scouting services in the whole nine. You have an opportunity to make it, but you have to understand if they are going to be recruiting every day, you better be working every day. And that's the real deal.
All right, so when we talk about working every day, that's not just on your craft and your sport. It's about your brand, and that's how social media comes into play. All right, so background, the who. Obviously, Coach Ketz, currently coaching for the Parkway North Junior Vikings. I've coached for a lot of teams over the years. I've coached semi-pro, I've coached high school. But what's more important for this particular presentation is what I do to pay bills, and that is I led many social media teams, some of them award winning. As you can see, way back in 2009, some of you weren't even born yet. I was listed as one of the 5 trust agents changing the face of Twitter, which is now X, by Fast Company. Won the RFT award twice for my social media team that I was managing to support Charter, which is now Spectrum. So you can take what I say with a grain of salt, but please understand it's not just some grumpy old man, telling you what to do with your social media account. It's really coming from a place of knowledge. I've done this for many years, like I said, for longer than most of you have been alive. So just please understand that I've done my research and I do know what I'm talking about here. So that's why I decided to put this together to try to help people that are using social media to ensure that you're not doing it in a way that's going to hurt you from accomplishing your goals. So, kind of the why behind that. You know, I was in social media really from a brand management perspective, not really focused on athletics at all, right? I was big brands. Charter was my main my main account, and then I went into a marketing firm when I, managed some smaller brands, but still pretty large. A lot of spirits, things of that nature, which are a little bit more fun. And then I took my son to Shane Ray's awareness camp, and his mom pulled all the parents aside and sat down and talked to us about the process of getting Shane recruited. And she talked about how vital social media was in that process. And that really opened my eyes to something I wasn't really aware of. I had, as a stepdad, brand new to kind of athletics at that point. I had been out of the game for many years at that point. And so, um, it was that exposure to Shane and his mom Sabrina that really kind of opened my eyes and got me started thinking about social media from a different perspective. So, just in general, should youth athletes be on social media? I absolutely think they should be, but I definitely think they should be on social media, and I do think that their accounts should be monitored from parents. Right? They're young kids, right? They're prone to mistakes, and I think that it's ridiculous for us as adults to think that a 13-year-old is mature enough to be out in a platform that has exposure to the entire world and isn't going to get themselves in trouble. As you see, I'm going to hit a slide where there have been some major missteps from grown adults. So, yeah, they should be on there, but you should absolutely be monitoring what they're doing. Uh, why I think they should be on there, because they can connect with coaches, and there's a huge potential to help get a scholarship. Now, it's not going to be the only reason they get a scholarship. At the end of the day, like Carl will tell you, if you cannot perform, it doesn't really matter. Your social media is not going to get you the scholarship. You've still got to be a great athlete, but it can certainly help you get exposure. Um, don't shoot the messenger. I am going to say some things in here that will, particularly for the student athlete, going to offend your sensibilities, because you guys, and I see it all the time, you guys are doing things on your social media platforms that I absolutely disagree with. You're using them in the wrong way. You're doing things that college coaches will absolutely have issues with. Um, don't shoot the messengers. You can do whatever you want, right? It's at the end of the day, it's your brand. You are building a brand right now. Um, I'm just trying to help you cultivate a brand that is going to be something that a college will likely want to do business with. I'm going to cover a lot of best practices. These best practices are based on research. It's not just my opinion. It's based on what the social norm is for this type of environment. So it's not just what Coach Ketz thinks. It's what socially, and what the various markets are looking for in this area. All right. What the don'ts? Some famous blunders. Probably the most famous is the gas mask, which is Laramie Tunsil, who was at the beginning before this event. Everybody projected him to go number one overall. He slid to 13 in the draft, which, if anybody knows anything about football, that slide cost him millions of dollars. All because my man decided that smoking some sweet leaf through a gas mask and then recording that in a way in which somebody could post it on social media was a good idea. Look, I'm not trying to tell you what you should do with your time. Like, it is a free world. What you want to do in your free time is up to you. What you do with a video camera is also up to you. But please know that we live in a different world and there are cameras everywhere. And if you're recording yourself doing dumb stuff and that dumb stuff ends up in a public platform, it is definitely going to have an impact on you. And in this case, that impact cost him millions of dollars. Now, our boy Josh Allen, he had tweets resurface from high school where he had quoted some lyrics of a song that used the N word. So he says it was a quote. That's how he, is trying to avoid the racism. I'm not saying he is racist. I'm not saying he's not racist. What I'm saying is, under no circumstance should any person that is white use the N word in any way, shape, or form, because as you can see, all these many years later, if you search it right now, the internet does not forget. That is a quick search. All the results of Josh Allen using the N word from way back in the day. So, did that impact his draft results? I'm not sure where he would have fallen. I'm not sure when this came out, relative to the draft. Obviously, he still got drafted. Obviously, he's still, kind of the darling of the Buffalo Bills. But I wouldn't do something that is going to put me in a position where a coach who's very sensitive, rightfully so, to somebody using something that is perceived as racist, um, you know, that being the deciding factor on whether or not you get an offer to play college ball, right? At this point, you are still trying to get an opportunity to play college ball, which is ultimately an offer that will result in a thousands of dollars coming your way, in whether that's in scholarship or NIL money, depending on where the situation is when you get to college. Like, even if it's just a scholarship, that's still thousands of dollars that you won't have to pay for an education, which in turn will result in you making thousands of dollars more than you would potentially make without that college degree. So, you do you, but understand the ramifications of you doing you if you do dumb things. All right, the don'ts. Internet is forever. So, the walls have eyes and ears and screen grabbers. This is a video that I was able to just grab off the net because somebody posted it. I happen to follow the person that posted it. The kid in the video happens to be one of my former athletes, probably one of the best running backs I've ever coached. But if I'm a college coach and I'm looking at this video, I have serious character concerns, right? Is this the kind of guy that I want in my locker room? Is this the kind of guy whose behavior I can trust when he's 21 and he's legal and he can drink? Is he going to be making the right decisions on a daily basis? Is he going to get up and go to class? Is he going to pass his class? Is he going to be eligible to play for me if when he has, when he's got nothing else going on, he's making a decision to get into a slap boxing fight in the middle of a bathroom and allow it to be recorded and posted, right? So all those things, like every time you're doing something silly like this, which, it's a slap boxing fight, big deal, right? You think, okay, that's not a big deal. And maybe it's not. But the fact is, in today's society, because everybody has a camera and everything's being filmed, and those things that get posted online, now I'm in a position as a third party person that doesn't know anything about this kid, that doesn't know that he's a great kid, that he's a hard worker, he doesn't have any background to him. If this is my first introduction to him, I've got questions that I don't want to have. As an athlete, I don't want a coach to have questions immediately because of some silly video that I allowed to be recorded of me doing something silly. Would you want your grandma to read or see that? So this is a picture, embarrassingly enough, of my daughter. She was at a party with her friends. At the time, she didn't even have social media. She was There was a song going on. I believe the song called for them to flip things off. So she did. Picture was taken. Picture was posted online. Somebody else that followed the person that posted the picture, I happened to follow them. I saw the picture, right? What did I do? Grabbed the picture, had to question her. Why are you online flipping the camera off, right? That's not a good look for a young woman who's also an equestrian and, is looking to possibly ride horses at college, right? That's not the crowd that is down for like flipping cameras off. So, again, the internet is forever. Technology's crazy. Every phone has a screen grabber. So just because you think that you're at a party and you're having fun with your friends, you cannot trust them to not do something that like is going to impact you, because they're not like even though they're not like intending to, they're like not maliciously intending to harm you. Like, you just got to be careful what you're doing. Your behavior in today's society has to be on point at all times. And if it's not, anybody can record anything, take pictures of anything, and post it anywhere at any time. And that information in the wrong hands can get to the wrong people, and it can seriously impact your future. Your hipness should not conflict with your goals. I see this all too often. Like, ultimately, your goal is to get into college, which is an institution of higher education, and yet we're on social media posting like we don't know basic grammar. Happy Candles Day, you know how we are, buh. I don't even know what buh is. Durgo the Return. Cool. Like, I'm glad you guys are so hip and like you use the sweet slang. All good when you're talking with each other, but if you're making public posts that college coaches can see, remember at the end of the day, the dude that's really signing off on that is some staunch academic that really wants to make sure that you're also going to go in there and perform academically, because it's a university. It's not just a football factory. And you're going to walk away with a degree that says you passed courses academically, not just that you played football. So, like, you need to be mindful of what you're doing in these social media channels. Like, are you just wanting to be the slick, hip, cool kid? Or are you wanting to sell to a college that you're serious about academics, not just athletics? Remember when we say student athlete, make the student part show. And when you talk like that online, the student part isn't showing. The don'ts, the basics continued. Don't create multiple accounts in a platform. It's confusing. Super hard for coaches to find the real you, and I immediately question who the real you is. If you've got multiple accounts, I know one of them is the real you, and one of them is the account that you're using to do other like nefarious stuff, right? So like one is the one that you are clean and polished, and one of the one is that you use for your friends, and one is the one that you use for girls. Like, you shouldn't be three different people. You should just be one dude. Like, who are you? That should be reflected in all your accounts, and it should be one account for each platform. That's it. Just one. Don't have multiple. And if for some reason you get locked out of an account or whatever the case is, kill the other accounts. Kill them. Take them down. You should only have one account. So when I search for you, I should find one account. Period. Don't leave your profile blank. God, I see this all the time. I don't even know why you guys have accounts. Just like a bunch of lurkers sitting out there, zero posts. All followers, following a bunch of people, no posts at all. Why do you have an account? What brand are you creating if you've got no posts? How do I know who you are if I go to your account and I don't see anything but a profile picture with a bunch of dollar signs? So you're about money. Cool. I'm a university. I'm looking to recruit you. All I know is that you care about money. Eh, that doesn't necessarily align with my brand. Your brand needs to align with my brand if we're going to do business together. So just be mindful of that. Use different handles on different platforms. Don't do that. It's confusing, right? Christian is a phenomenal athlete. He's a great role model for the younger kids. My son trains with him, and I'm sure he didn't do this like intentionally. Maybe his other account was taken, but whatever, like by any means necessary, find a new handle so they can be the same across platforms. So he's got your boy Christian One here and Chosen One CP there. Super hard. If I go and I'm recruiting you, I want to be able to go to Twitter or X, whatever the new one is now. I want to go to all platforms. I want to find the same handle, and I want to find you on all platforms by using the same handle. I don't want to have to dig around, and find five different ways of finding you and all being the same person. So I love that he's used the same profile picture, but it should be the same handle as well. Be mindful of what you like. It is accessible and it is a representation of who you are. Nothing wrong with what Coach Masters liked. I'm just using it as an example. It's super easy to search anyone and their likes, right? So I can go into X or any platform and I can find out what things that you're liking. So, like, if you don't want me to know that you like, a bunch of pictures of girls, then don't like a bunch of pictures of girls, right? Like if you're steady clicking every like thirst trap picture of the girl on the beach, well, then I go to your profile and I see your likes, then that's what I see. Well, this dude is definitely going to be distracted by girls. That's going to be a problem, right? If you're liking every like profanity laden video that's being posted, that's a problem, right? So this dude is definitely, that type of kid. So it just be mindful of it. What you like says a lot about who you are, so you should be conscious of what you're liking. I'm not saying you shouldn't like things. I absolutely think you should like things. You should just be mindful of what you're liking because that is creating that brand around you. It also changes the algorithms and determines what social media is sending you. So if you keep liking the same things, those same things keep showing up. Who you follow also says a lot about you. A lot of you need to like cultivate your accounts. You might have a ton of followers, but half of those are spammers or porn bots, things like that. Don't let those things follow you. Just block them, report them. Let's clean social media up. Don't let fake accounts follow your account. There's no value in that. Just to have a number that's larger. Nobody cares about that. Have real, authentic engagement. Quality over quantity, same kind of concept. I don't really care how many followers you have if you don't have any engagement. It's the engagement that I care about, not the number. All right, the do's: build your brand, consistency across platform. You can see same handle everywhere. So even his email is the same across platforms. Uh, Profile picture similar. Uh, Show them who you are, not just what you do. So, like, believe it or not, you are not just a football player. And if you are, then I have concerns because you're going to burn out at some point. That's unhealthy to just be a football player. I want to know if I'm looking and I'm recruiting you, I want to know who you are as a person, right? I want to know what you listen to. I want to know like what you're into as a person, right? So Show me who you are, not just what you do. Balance original content with shared content. You're young, right? Like you should be sharing other people's content because they're wiser than you are. They've been around longer, right? They have a an extensive amount of experience, and sharing their content brings value to them and you. So you should balance that. And then always promote your people. You can see like on both profiles, he's always linking to who's his QB, where's he play football, who's his trainers, where's he play tennis, who's his strength coach, right? So always linking to the people that got you to where you are. Nobody's getting anywhere by themselves. Not in today's world. I mean, very rarely is somebody just that gifted that they have no external help and they magically, became one of the best. Like other people are helping you, you should, give them their roses. All right, on Twitter, make sure you pin your recent highlights. Your very top post should be your most recent highlights. Same thing for Instagram. Create highlights that show who you are. Super easy to do. So, like when I hit your profile, I don't have to dig through every post you've ever made. I can just hit your highlights and get a good idea of who you are. Engage, right? So you shouldn't just be like making posts. You should be responding to posts. You should be retweeting people. You should be, commenting on things. Like that's the whole part of social media is actually being social, not just like lurking. That's frankly weird. Edit cycle before you click send. I have been a victim of this many times in my career. I, sometimes I'm working on solving a problem and I'm moving fast and I am prone to typographical errors. So always try to slow down and run a quick edit cycle before you click send, especially if it's a big like promotion type post. And then also, create a link tree. You'll notice this link to this video will be in my link tree. So that's just like a way, or there's other similar sites, but Linktree is the one I use. But just a way to like drive somebody to all your links. You'll notice on both profiles for Teddy, he's got a Linktree link, and it'll just take him to all the highlights or all his accounts. So you're not like having to link 90 different accounts. This is just another example that I found online, just kind of reinforces all those same things I just talked about. So they recommend using a camp combine photo, helmet off, helps recognize at other events. Use your real name. Like even like the Joker nickname is cool in there, but we know like first and last name is good. Bio at a minimum should have the following: so GPA, class, position, high school, spelled out. I see this a lot, like CHS, LHS. There's a ton of that, and I don't ever know which one it is. I have to like dig deeper to find it. Any other sports team affiliations, and then there's some optionals in there. Personal Twitter handle, easy to remember, easy to find. Not hands like feet 69, swag yo mama, like for real. Your real current location, most recent huddle link. We can use YouTube, which is what we do, but we use Linktree instead. Be careful when you hit the like button. It's telling the world what you endorse this tweet, which is a reflection on your character. And then who you follow is important. Follow football accounts, trainers, coaches, team accounts, recruiters, etc. Win, update, don't overwhelm. So I have a daily tweet philosophy just to make sure that the account doesn't go stale, right? So I got into the practice many years ago. I do a morning tweet every morning where I will post a song, right? Whatever I'm listening to at that moment, I will post that song, right? So this is something I've been doing for years and years and years. It just ensures that my account never, looks stale or dormant, right, or abandoned, which a lot of times that happens, right? I'll hit somebody's profile and you'll see they haven't posted for like 90 days, and so I'm like, oh, is this still active? Are they using this account anymore? And then I start having to dig deeper to find out if there's another account, right? So that's why I recommend having some type of consistent engagement. The music thing is just something I do because that's something I'm really passionate about. But there's a lot of different ways to kind of do that. You could, use some relevant hashtags like Monday Motivation or Way Back Wednesday, Throwback Thursday, Family Friday. Things like that are just kind of easy triggers to remember what to post or when to post. Teddy has used daily gratitude for a while. That's something that helps him not only from a gratitude perspective, but as a reminder to do some consistent posting so his account doesn't become, dormant or look abandoned, right? So just something to like make sure that the account doesn't look inactive, because that again is from somebody that might be recruiting you. Then they got to start questioning, is this the actual account? And then they have to start digging deeper, looking to see if there's another account out there. So you want to make sure that the account looks fresh for recruiters as they're looking. All right, the what's shared content. So some really great positive resources. Glazer Clinic links, proactive coaching is a good site. Success mantra, motivational football memes. All those resources are really good for sharing some positive content out there. So the intent of sharing that content is really what you're wanting to do is, kind of garner some likes and follows, which will help improve your algorithms. Because ultimately, the more likes and follows that you get, the more you're going to be seen in searches, which will help when college coaches or recruiters are looking for people, right? So there is a certain amount of um, social media acumen that you have to have to ensure that you're going to come up when searches go down, right? If somebody's looking for a QB, you want to make sure that you're going to be one of the ones that get pulled up in that search. And you also want to just kind of build your brand awareness, right? So what do you represent as an athlete? Like, what things do you stand behind? Note there is no algorithm beater. There's a lot of websites that will claim that they've got some way to, make posts go viral. I would not trust that in any way, shape, or form. This is just an example that I like to show. So these are just all kind of reels that have recently been posted. To be clear, um, the only reason I'm doing this is just it's a personal thing for me to stay consistent, right? So I started, kind of a weight loss journey about a year and some months ago, and we started working out as part of that process, and it helps me remain consistent to do these little videos, right? So Teddy decided he wanted to start working out too, so we do these little videos now. As you can see, it's pretty much the exact same content every time, right? They're all pretty much the same videos, but like it's wildly different the amount of views that they get, right? So this one has like 2,700, this one has 1,200, 1,900, 1,200, but this one has 65, right? 126. So if there was some way, shape, or form to manipulate this, they would all have similar amount of views, but they don't, right? Because it's based on some algorithm that, unless you're, Facebook or Instagram, you really don't control the algorithm. So you're just at the mercy of their, all-knowing genius. But you're not going to manipulate the algorithm. So just post good, clean, honest content that represents who you are, and you'll be fine. All right, last slide to leave you with. This is kind of like the thing that I think is the most true of all things social media right now. Post a picture on IG, get 10 likes. Post the same picture on IG stories, get 300 views. The moral of the story, not many people like you, but they are watching. And that is so true about social media. Remember, if you are using social media in any way, shape, or form, there is a very good chance that any college that is looking to recruit you is going to go in to your social media platform at some point in time, and if they find content that they don't like, it's going to be a problem. So keep your platform clean, apply some of the tips and tricks I talked about. Have a great Wednesday. Thanks for sticking with me for 36 minutes, and we'll talk to you next week.